I didn't know when I created Conscious Home, I didn't realize what I would be creating would be the blueprint. And when I was creating it keyed into a place or connected to my intuition, my guides, thinking to myself, not only is this what I need, but this is my everyday. And I'm not gonna lie, half believing that, like, yeah, this resonates with me, but I'm just basically speaking my truth and putting it down on paper and then turning it into a business. I really wasn't expecting it to be such an integral part of not only my everyday, but my soul print, my remembrance. Welcome home, everybody. That is to the Conscious Home podcast, and I'm your host, Blanche Garcia. So why do I say blueprint? I say blueprint because when we're creating something that is completely based, like it's connected to who we are, it's our soul, it's imprinted, it's coming from an authentic place. And not only that, it's divine inspiration, meaning that when people created throughout history, Mozart, Marie Claire, like you name whoever created something really magnificent, and of course, Conscious Home. But whenever you're creating art, whenever you're putting your soul out there in a tangible form, like in business, in music, in art, in a building, whatever you're creating, it feels sometimes so in alignment and so authentic to who you are that you don't realize the magnitude of who it's going to affect and the imprint it's going to put out into the world just by being completely authentic, just by being completely you, because it is so ingrained in who you are that you think you're just having fun. You're just kind of telling your story. You're putting it out there in written form, in materialistic form, right? Same thing with Conscious Home. It came out of a need in 2020 when I was at my tipping point, my spiritual awakening. One of them, I had before another one, but this was like the big one. This was the one that rocked me to my core, the thunderbolt that completely shifted who I was, not only as a human, but as a being. And it was the one that said to me, Blanche, there was before 2020 you, and then there was after 2020 you. And a lot of the things that I did in my life that I thought that were just like, these are my normal rudimentary ways of taking care of myself. Yes, I had always been a strong person, a leader person, like someone who's in leadership. I've always, fought for who I was and was sure of what I believed in. Feather messages, 111, you name it. Those were like my regular everyday language. But I didn't realize that my spiritual hygiene, I was calling in different things, and my nervous system, I was calling in different support that I didn't realize that everybody didn't do. And when 2020 hit and I really was not only breaking down, but breaking through, and in that spiritual awakening, I realized that those things weren't just my spiritual, emotional, energetic hygiene. They were actually integral for me to be attuned, to be clear, to be able to connect and connect in ways that I had never experienced connecting. You see, what's different is that before 2020, I would get my own intuitive messages through, like, let's say the way we all do, like dreams. I kind of would have knowings of things. Like I would say, oh, this person's going to call me, or I'd meet somebody and go, I feel like I've met you before, or I kind of knew in business, like this isn't going to work out. I'm not even going to get into business with this person. Those are the things that, and how it would come to me. When 2020 happened, I was attuning to a whole different vibration that I had never experienced. And that was because my soul had really called that into my timeline at this moment. And what happens is that before we all come down, we all go, this is how our life's going to be. This is how we're going to vibrate. These are the lessons we're going to go through, and it could be in different ways. And this is the imprint that we would like to leave on the planet before we leave. So when we're here and this got called into my life, it was like a thunderbolt that really just shocked me to my core, because my third eye was completely blown open. And not only as a new mom was my nervous system completely shot, by the way, and also as someone who's neurodivergent and normally doesn't like loud sounds and bright lights and disharmony within space. Now throw a kid in there and barking dogs and all the things and not sleeping, which I was normally getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep. So when that's thrown off, I am not a happy person. You throw that in with your third eye completely being blown open, meaning that you've shifted, your vibration has shifted. And now you're getting messages. I was getting messages in ways that I had never even imagined. I was hearing my guides. I was not only lucid dreaming, but I was able to channel and reach reach other dimensions and understand the future of things and possibilities that I was like, what the hell is going on? And I talk about this in one of my earlier podcasts. Anyway, what I realized was the fundamental things that seem so easy, they seem so everyday, are actually our anchor points. And once I realized that those were my anchor points, that's how I kept my vessel clear enough to be able to anchor into this planet, to being human, to do the work like make money, go through our lessons, have a family. All of those things you have to be anchored in. And that's why Conscious Home was created, because this was my everyday ritual, my everyday things that I didn't even realize were ritual until I started naming them. And once I started naming them, I was like, oh my God, I'm already bringing ritual into my life, grounding into my life. So there's different ways that we can do this. And some of the ways that I integrated that were so important to me and still are to this day, they are literally my guideposts. I integrated them into Conscious Home. One of my favorite ones to do is when I wake up in the morning, it's an energetic clearing, right? Because when we sleep, we travel. And I don't care if you don't believe that or you do believe that and you think that they're just dreams. You know the difference. There's a difference between when you wake up and you go, oh my God, I had a dream and my cousin and my girlfriend, I can't believe you cheated on me, meh. That's one dream. And by the way, that's an alternate timeline that you just kicked into, and that's residue that you're clearing out. But then there's the other dream. There's the other dream where you wake up and you don't know what the hell happened. You don't even know where you are. You don't know if that was the dream or this is the dream. And you're so foggy that you're like 5 cups of coffee in and you're just like, I don't even know where I am. And that dream, there's portions of that dream that stay with you. You can't remember all of it, but you remember moments of it. And it felt so real. That one, that's not a dream. That's you traveling. Now, there could be different reasons why you travel and only you can decide what that is, but it could be traveling to release something. It could be traveling to an alternate timeline. It could be telling you something that's coming up. So the only way to disengage from that dream in order to be in the human body now, to ground, to be able to function as a normal human being, is to release that. So when you release that, you go, I surround myself with white light. I release all attachments to dreams, timelines, alternate timelines, realities that no longer serve me, that are from the evening, from my dreamscape. You release those. And like a cord, you imagine all of them just going back, right? And then you're going to anchor your root chakra, which is your chakra at the base of your spine. Imagine a red cord going straight into the earth, wrapping around the center of the earth, and that red energy pulsating up through back into your spine and to your root chakra. That's going to ground you in. I do that every morning. I do it within like minutes as soon as I wake up. It may not be as profound as I just made it sound like. It's literally like a zip, 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 zip. And I'm like, okay, let's wake up. And that's before my daughter is usually like, Mom, blah, blah, blah. And then I go out in nature and I ground. And that in itself brings me back to center. Other things that I integrated within Conscious Home that are really ritual are when we call ourselves back to ourselves, when we remember the spaces for what they are. They're working in harmony with us. So you think it's just aesthetic that you like a certain scent or a candle or incense in your home. That's not aesthetic. That is you wanting to remember that your nervous system and your vibration need that recalibration. It needs it. It's sensitive and it needs that support to nurture it. So this could be, for me, I make sure that I have certain music on. The lights are dim enough for me. I make sure that there's certain scent in the home. Color is super important. Color is activating. And these are things that I knew as a designer and I kind of dabbled in, but after of 2020, I realized that there was extreme weight to the colors that I integrated within my space. And so yellow marigold was brought into my bedroom because I needed joy. I needed to remember and wake up to joy. And that was the quickest way that I could do it, right? And I needed to remember who I was. So I brought in the color of purple and eggplant and royalty and spiritual resonance. I brought that into my main area living room because I wanted to feel that. I wanted to feel that connection even when I was in space of gathering. Bringing the outdoors in. We call it biophilia in design, but it's plants, it's flowers. We need to remember as our divine feminine, even the males that are out there, the masculine, we need to remember the beauty of what we're here to live, that it's not just we go to work. It's not just we pay the bills. We need to remember that we are part of nature, that we are connected. We are not separate from it. And so we bring that inside to remind us of how beautiful we are, but also the world is, that no matter what's going on, everyone that there is a safe space within the home, and we're bringing it back to remembrance. So as I started cataloging all of the things that I did and kind of cross-referencing them with, just modalities that were out there, I realized there really wasn't something that was created and encompassed not only spiritual connection, energetic connection, but design, because furniture and form, things like vessels, like containers, they're not just containers, they hold energy, ornamentation, fabrics, light fixtures, carpets, they're grounding, they ground a space. So I realized that there was much more of a connection with all of these things than it was just furniture is separate and if it was cohesive, it made you feel good. Or if it was organic material, it saved the planet, right? There was a lot, and all of it had to kind of come together. So I created these archetypes because I needed 6 of them. In numerology, there is magic in numbers, and I resonate with that. I resonate with form, I resonate with structure, and I resonate with numbers. And so for me, 6 is a number of unity, and it's a number of celebration, and it holds spiritual integrity. There's memory in that number. And so we created the different archetypes, and they all have different meaning, and they support who you are and where you need to go. So we created a quiz, right? You take your free archetype quiz on our website, conscioushomebgg.com. Shameless plug there, by the way. And the reason I say that is because I wanted it for everybody. I didn't want to gatekeep it. And I thought that was a really fun way for people to kind of say, I want to learn more about me. Our quiz is a little different. Our quiz is not just about who you are. A lot of other quizzes out there are just like, oh, let me tell you who you are. You're an earth sign and you're this, Our quizzes are custom designed to let you know what you need in your life. So for instance, if you take a quiz and let's say you end up with kin. So the kin archetype is a short form word for kinship, and kinship is kinship to earth for me. That's what it meant for me. And it's a strong word. It has roots. And kin, the colors of kin are deep, deep merlots and reds and chocolates and blacks. They're grounding colors. It could even be mossy greens. Think of like you're just feeling like you're out of your body. You're just all over the place. You're scattered. You would be somebody who needs kin. Kin is for somebody who, you forget things all the time. You drop your keys. When we drop things, by the way, when we're constantly being clumsy or losing things or dropping things, that means that your energy is out of alignment, that you need balancing and you need grounding. That's actually one of the simple ways that I can tell that you're out of alignment, and that kin is probably a really good archetype for you. And so some of the ways you might want to integrate this within your space or in your home are like, I love the scent of cedar. So I have an essential oil that's cedar. Whenever I do meditation work or channel work, I put that essential oil on my wrists or at my bare feet or on my ankles. And I remind myself that I'm rooted to the earth. And I go out in bare feet. I make sure I do something that reminds me of who I am. So I may wash my hands. I may do that really methodically, slowly. So I remember that running water is here to purify me. The earth is here to ground me. The scent, trees. Go out and hug a tree. It's okay to go hug a tree. People might think you're weird, but you're going to actually benefit from it. There's actually something called forest bathing. Our parents would have called it just go for a nature walk. Now they've retermed it. It's forest bathing, but basically it's the same thing. And you're just going in nature, and and I know that you feel amazingly better when you go out in nature, especially when you've been in 4 walls all day. It's so therapeutic. Things like that. Also with fabrics. So heavier fabrics, weighted blankets are really great for this. Bringing in those colors like the chocolates and the burgundies throughout your space in sofas and area rugs. That's going to be really great for you. Even red light therapy is really, really great. And I'm glad that right now it's like mainstream, because red light therapy is amazing for you as well. And it actually will help the cells of your body kind of like regenerate in a way and anchor in. And so these are ways that you're going to integrate a lot of these modalities into your life. When you take the quiz, not only do we give you different items and recommendations to help align you, not only energetically, but also practically, different furniture types. We also give you a mantra that you can say to invite and embody this archetype into your life. Things to cook with, nutrients to help your body. We're looking at this not only on one surface level, and that's the problem with a lot of modalities out there that I have found, is that they're only treating one thing. And it's not like this is medicine. It's medicine for the soul, but I'm not a doctor, so let's just caveat that. But for me, when I'm realigning, I look at so many different layers like an onion. So I need the energetic, I need the visual, I need the sensory, right? I need the spiritual. I need to embody it in all aspects of my life. I need to know what I'm putting in my body. Is there something I can shift holistically? Are there supplements that I can take? How am I living my day? What does my day look like? Who am I around? What's the music that I listen to? All of these things are nurturing us. They're becoming part of our story. And through that, the magic of life starts speaking to you, because when you're in that alignment of embodying a certain archetype or a certain direction where you know feels authentic to who you are, you start getting the signs that go along with that. And they're like, yeah, you're in alignment. This is right. So let's just say that you are someone, and especially what's going on right now in the world, let's just say that you're just like consuming the news. You're consuming our phones. You're looking at your phone, this bad thing, that bad thing, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. And then like you're kind of feeling a little down. Not only that, maybe you're listening to music that is kind of sad because you're like, I just want to be in it. You're watching movies that are kind of sad. Right now, the vibe is just off and you're feeling very stagnant, a little depressed. Let's just say you're a little depressy, right? We're not going to call you depressed, but let's just say you're a little depressy. And you realize that you're looking at life like glass half empty. You're just like, well, I guess this is just these taxes and, what's this year going to be like? And then I have a car bill. And then you're like, I would talk to her, but I really don't want to talk to her. I'm not in the mood to go out anymore. Or, like it's just like rolling down the hill. You would be someone who would probably align really well and could use a little of our bliss archetype. So our bliss archetype is one of my favorite because it reminds me of my daughter in a way. It reminds me of laughter and innocence and purity. It's like that little like laugh that you hear when kids are running by. It's kind of like your inner child is just reminding you that he or she or they are there and that you never really lost it. And so when that happens, it's just those moments of pure joy and how to interject them in your life to understand that there is beauty in the world. I can relate to this really strongly this year because one of my, I would say, pain points that I am working through is that, I went through childbirth and I had a daughter. And as a woman, that makes you really serious. It makes you really serious because you kind of have to be on a schedule. You don't get to sleep a lot. A lot of your time is not yours anymore. It's for others. And so I think that as a woman, you lose a lot of yourself. You lose a lot of like what made you light and airy and fun. You're no longer that girl that could just be like, you know what, today I just want to go out and like be out with my friends and maybe I won't come home tonight or maybe I'll just run barefoot in the rain. You can't do those things as much because you're just like, I have to get home. I have to do this. This one has to get to school. This one has to get to sleep. On top of that, when you're a woman of a certain age and going through perimenopause like I am, because I'm being open and honest, that also shifts things. It makes things a lot harsher and more brittle. You have to fight harder to reclaim that part of yourself. And I think that people don't talk about that or women don't talk about that enough. I think now the commentary, the conversation is shifting, right? As we talk about these things like books like The Pause and all these different shows and things like that are coming out. So bliss has been really big for me because this year I want to reclaim part of that. I want to embody not the girl I used to be, but the new version of me, a more blissful and joyful me. Honor that inner child, but understand and integrate her with the woman that I am. So I bring in and I embody the bliss archetype, and I do it in ways that are bringing in, like I said, the colors of yellows and marigolds. Those are happy, vibrating colors, whites, even bright like sky blue, pinks, like happy pinks. Think dopamine decor, right? And it doesn't have to be like kitschy. It could be something that really just resonates with you. I never liked yellow, by the way. I never liked yellow in my home. And in 2020, I decided that my headboard had to be a big ass marigold velvet headboard. I would have never done that, but my inner child and my bliss archetype were like, girl, we need some joy. It's 2020. We need to find it somewhere. The artwork that you bring in, sunflowers, think happy music, think dancing in your kitchen when nobody's watching, think pancakes with bananas in the morning on a Sunday morning, walks down the street, like seeing a butterfly, like these are the things that you're just like, yeah, talking to that one friend that just makes you laugh, like stupid laugh, you know, the funny movie. Those are the things that are going to bring in joy. The music that you listen to, these are the vibrations that you want to start to bring in. And that's what that archetype is for, you know? As I'm saying this to you, I can feel the energy of bliss just like tingling through me, you know? And I remember in 2020 when I was especially calling in bliss because I was like, I really need some happiness and joy. I was changing my mantra. So maybe the mantra was something along the lines of, I stand in my joy, my happiness. I deserve to be happy, whole, and joyful in this very moment and in the everyday. Maybe that's it. And anything you do, by the way, in 3s or 6s or 9s, anything you do in a way that's ritual, that's what we're creating with the archetypes, by the way. We're creating everyday ritual that you can integrate within your life in a very easy way. It's not meant to be, I mean, listen, it's based on old school, past life, I would say galactic, energetic, like it is based on the fundamentals of the witchy woman, the woman that created, you know, and honored the solstice and the men that built the ruins. This is what we're pulling into today. We're pulling in a remembrance, a memory of who we used to be, but we're integrating it in what we are today. We are in a fast-paced, highly tech life. So it has to be easy. It has to be authentic. It has to be something that resonates with you. It doesn't have to be serious all the time, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but it can be perfect for you. And that's what the archetypes are. They are who you embody, who you want to embody at that moment. And it could shift every couple of months because what you're going through, the season of your life that you're working through, shifts. Who you want to meet you at this moment, the parts of you that you need to pull forward, call forward, will change as your season changes. So right now, I'm calling in bliss. Like maybe a year ago, I was calling in kin, right? For like a good year probably, and probably a little bit of bliss. But right now, I'm calling in bliss. I'm also calling in a little ardor, because who doesn't need a little romance, right? Every girl needs a little romance. It's a little ardor, a little bliss I'm calling in right now. Oh, I'm also calling in vigor, okay? Because I'm getting it snatched. I'm pulling it together. I'm trying to get my eating right, my hormones together, right? Like watch out world. So it could be a couple different archetypes. It doesn't have to just be one. So I invite you to take our Conscious Home quiz because I really think that you're going to love it. We put a lot of heart and soul into it. But alongside that, I also want you to take a moment every morning and honor not only where you are, but where you want your next path to be. Honor the person and the energy in you that is looking to birth itself into something new and beautiful. And a mantra that I want to leave with you is, I am the architect of my rebirth. I am the architect of my new beginning. Until next time, remember that your home remembers you.